Hello, good afternoon, everyone. This is Jamie Nabor, and for today, we will continue the discussion of BPO. So, we are already here in the second module of BPO, the fundamentals of outsourcing. So, for today, we will have the two types of outsourcing and what is outsourcing as a business strategy, what are the outsource activities or processes, the readiness assessment, then the technologies and trends. Okay, so by the end of the entire module, you should be able to do the following. First is to name and define the two types of outsourcing, enumerate the different outsourcing strategies, state the common types of activities, tasks, and or processes that get outsourced, define the components of readiness assessment, and identify what are the key technologies and trends in outsourcing. So let's put things into context. Here we have a few statements such as no man is an island, everything is connected, and the nature of business is. So these three things are some of the quotes that are used to describe the current state of BPO. So you might wonder, what do these statements have anything to do with business process outsourcing? Okay, so let me elaborate. First is that no business is an island, or like if we can say that no man is an island, we can say the same for businesses. I mean, any type of business. All businesses rely on each and other existing businesses as well, in order to survive, and they are all interconnected. Let's say Jollibee, who is long-term fast food business in the Philippines, relies on its suppliers, like suppliers of raw materials for like the chicken, the vegetables, potatoes for their fries, soda, and so on and so forth. Even the materials that they use for their delivery, everything, the pieces that go together to make that entire fast food business are being gathered elsewhere. So in that manner, we can say that Jollibee does not operate by itself but is also reliant from other businesses that acts as its suppliers. Okay, and then we also made a statement at the end that the goal of every business or the nature of every business is, of course, to make money. So there are two types of outsourcing. The first one will be what we call third party. So when we say third party, it is owned by a service provider or a local entity or part of a global group, and then they are providing services to clients of the service provider. And then the second type of outsourcing is what we call the shared service center or SSC. So when we say SSC or shared service center, they are fully owned by the mother company and they are providing services entirely to their affiliates and subsidiaries, or more rarely to clients of the mother company. So let me explain the differences between these two types of outsourcing further. Okay, so for third party, here are some examples. We have Accenture, Aegis, Convergys, EGS, IBM, Spy Global, Stream Global, Sutherland, Sykes, Teletech, Teleperformance, and Talus. So when we say a third party, what this means is that these centers are catering services for other multiple and other accounts or other businesses. So let me put an example. Example, Accenture. Inside Accenture will be multiple accounts for multiple businesses globally. Let's say there's this business A, and then there's business B, and then there's business C. And then they are all paying Accenture for their services to put up a call center or a contact center. So you see, multiple calls or call center services are happening inside Accenture. Okay, there is no specific Accenture business wherein Accenture is dedicated on, but rather, they are acting as a third-party contract service provider. And same goes for all of these companies that we have mentioned here. On the other hand, we have examples of shared service centers like ANZ Bank, Chartis Technology and Operations, Management, Chevron, Citigroup, Dell, DKS, HP, HSBC, JP Morgan Chase, Maersk, Manulife, and Shell Shared Services Asia. So to put it simply, these shared service centers are dedicated towards servicing their mother or parent company. Example, Citigroup. Citigroup is definitely a banking service. So we know Citibank and we know this is a financial institution that exists worldwide. So when you see a call center for Citigroup in the Philippines, you are very sure that when you enter the Citigroup call center, they are only servicing Citibank. Okay, they are servicing Citibank customers all over the world. They don't have any other accounts in their call center. The same goes for Manulife. So we have a lot of alumni and graduates in Bulacan State University who are employed in Manulife. So in Manulife, they don't have any other accounts. They just serve Manulife customers. Okay, so they have a contact center here and they act as a service center. From the term itself, servicing Manulife customers all over the world, and the same goes for all of the companies mentioned here.
Now we will be discussing about the strategies for outsourcing. We have here multi-sourcing, crowdsourcing, onshoring, nearshoring, and last, offshoring. Now let's discuss multi-sourcing. Multiple vendors for clients' outsource project. Multi-sourcing is when a company hires multiple vendors to handle different parts of a large source project instead of relying on just one vendor. This strategy helps ensure that the company gets the best expertise for each part of the project, can manage risk better, and has more flexibility. Example, GM's Brazilian e-commerce site vendors Oracle, AT&T, Microsoft, Cisco, EDS, now HP Enterprise Services, IBM. GM outsourced the work to multiple companies for their specific skills. For example, Oracle could be responsible for the database, Microsoft for the software platform, Cisco for networking. This way, GM got the best technology from various sources to run its e-commerce site. Next example, GM's 2007 over 7.5 billion IT outsourcing contracts with EDS, now HP Enterprise Services, IBM, Capgemini, and Wipro Ltd. So GM hired these vendors to manage its IT needs. Each company had a specific role. For example, IBM might have handled cloud services, Wipro could have been in charge of software development, and Capgemini might have provided consulting services. By spreading the contract across multiple vendors, GM ensured that they had diverse expertise and more control over the quality and cost of services. In short, multi-sourcing allows companies like GM to tap into the strengths of multiple vendors to manage complex projects more efficiently. Now let's move on to crowdsourcing. Company puts out a call for a project. The company announces that they need a solution for a specific project and invites anyone to submit their ideas or proposal. Best solution submission is accepted and contracted. From all of the submission, the company picks the best one and hires that person or team to carry out the project. Crowdsourcing means outsourcing a task or project to a large undefined group of people instead of a specific individual or company. Example, if a company needs a new logo, they might ask the public, a large group of designers or non-designers, to submit their designs. They then pick the best one and pay for it. Outsourcing to an undefined, generally large group of potentials offers in the form of an open call. Jeff Howe's definition explains crowdsourcing as reaching out to a broad, usually large group of people through an open invitation, or what they call open call, to contribute ideas, solve problems, or provide services. So crowdsourcing allows companies to find innovative solution by asking for input from a large diverse group of people rather than just one specialized vendor. Now let's talk about onshoring. Vendor in the same home country as client. When a company hires a vendor or service provider that is located in the same country as the company itself. This is different from outsourcing to another country, which is offshoring, of course. So let's discuss its advantages. Allows immediate response. Product designers in same country respond to a market feedback quickly. Since the vendor is in the same country, they can respond to market changes and feedback quickly. For example, if a product designer is local, they can make adjustments immediately based on what customers want. Next, local contractors have same market knowledge, culture, language, communication style, minimizes culture issues. This reduces misunderstanding and communication issues between the client and vendor. Now let's talk about the disadvantage of onshoring. Reach of inadequately selected, trained, supervised staff, for example, less skilled because contractor staff are lower paid. Sometimes contractors may hire lower paid, less skilled workers, which can lead to poor performance if they aren't properly trained or supervised. Next, risk of higher attrition, lower business acumen process knowledge than internal staff, less motivation to deliver quality. Contractor may have a higher turnover rate compared to the company's own staff. This can result in lower motivation and less knowledge about the business, potentially affecting the quality of work. For example, New York Bank contracting startup security service firm in New York. Since the security firm is in the same city, communication is easier, but there might be risk if the firm hires less experienced or lower paid staff. In short, onshoring provides benefits like faster response and better communication but can face challenges if the vendor's staff isn't as skilled or motivated as the company's internal team.
So here's the continuation. Nearshoring, the transfer of business to a nearby country, often sharing the same border. Imagine a company that makes toys. Instead of making them in their own country, they move their factory to nearby country where it's cheaper to make the toys. So these are the advantages. Free for service variability rather than fixed compensation costs. Similarly, in business, means paying for specific tasks or services instead of fixed salary. This gives companies more flexibility because they only pay for what they use, which can save money. In short, paying only for the work they need. Significant labor cost arbitrage means taking advantage of lower wages in other countries. It can save money by hiring workers in countries where labor costs are lower, which can help them more competitive. It also hiring workers in countries where wages are lower. So the disadvantages: additional coordination cost, sourcing, management, communication, and transfer pricing tax margin requirements. For example, Hong Kong retail firm offshoring garments manufacturing in Manila. Transfer pricing is about setting a fair price when different parts of company trade with each other. The Hong Kong firm needs to decide how much to pay the Manila factory for each garment. Next, the offshoring vendor and client in different countries. Imagine you're buying a toy from a store. The store might not actually make a toy, but instead buys it make from company in another country. That company is vendor. and you, the buyer or the client. So even though you're in one country, the company that made the toy might in different country. So disadvantages allows company to focus on core business, fast down, ramp up down, ramp up or down at reasonable cost, opportunity to expand into a new areas cost effectively. And the disadvantages, data privacy confidentiality issues, lack of right business acumen or right market knowledge in offshore location, cultural differences leading to delays in miscues, risk of high attrition in service provider, weak staff selection or training. These are the core activities, tasks, processes, and the core process or product of the business. It understand what your business does best or it a primary process or product. And tasks that deliver the primary product, the unique value proposition of the company. It identifying the specific tasks that make your business unique. Essential defining activities or of an organization. What it needs to keep enhancing to improve competitive advantage. It focusing on improving the essential activities that give you a competitive edges. So these the non-core activities, task processes, support activities, processes, functions. These are all the thing a business needs to do to keep operating, but which are not directly related to their main product or services. Another core activities, task processes, design, creating the product, product development, developing the product, process, making the product, recipe, having having the know how to make product unique and successful.
In the fundamentals of outsourcing, the decision of what to outsource in IT development and IT maintenance revolves around identifying tasks that are well defined and documented. These tasks have a clear specifications, documented processes, and measurable outputs. This ensures consistency and allows for easy evaluation of the outsourcing provider's performance. For examples, in IT development, we have the programming, documentations, unit and integration testing, implementation of new systems, and conversions to a new platform. In programming, it outsourcing programming task is common, especially for projects requiring specific languages and frameworks. This allows the company to access specialized talent and reduce hiring costs. While in documentation, creating technical documentation, user manuals, and API specification can be outsourced to specialized writers. This ensures consistent, high quality documentation that meets the industry standards. And then in unit and integration testing, outsourcing testing can ensure thorough and objective evaluation of software functionality. Specialized testing companies have the expert test and tools to conduct comprehensive tests. And then in implementation of new system, this can be outsourced to companies with expertise in system integration and deployment. They can handle the technical aspect of installing, configuring, and testing new system. And then last one is the conversion to a new platform. It migrates applications and data to a new platforms that can be complex. Outsourcing this task to a specialized provider ensures a smooth transitions and minimizes the downtime. While in the examples of maintenance, we have the application maintenance, help desk, and network support. In application maintenance, ongoing maintenance of application, including the bug fixes, the security patches, and performance enhancements, can be outsourced to dedicated support teams. This ensures that applications remain stable and secure. While in help desk support, it handles user inquiries, troubleshooting issues, and providing technical assistance can be outsourced to help desk providers. This frees up internal IT staff to focus on more strategic tasks. And then last, the network support. It manages network infrastructure, including security, performance, and troubleshooting. It can be outsourced to a network specialist. This ensures that the network operates efficiently and securely. So now let us move on to the fundamentals of outsourcing, the typically outsourced activities, tasks, and processes. Outsourcing is a business strategy where a company contracts with a third party providers to perform a specific task or processes. This can be a cost effective way to access specialized expertise, reduce operational costs, and focus on core competencies. Here's are a breakdown of common outsourcing categories and their associated activities. We have the first, the business process outsourcing, which is BPO. Next is the IT outsourcing, then the support functions, then we have the routine activities or activities that can be automated at larger centers, the seasonal requirements, and last is the part-based activities. In business process outsourcing or BPO, it outsources the entire business process components like HR, payroll, accounting, and financial. So, in the first example, which is the rebook, as the company outsourcing HR function or the human resources function and services providers in Shell SSC, Deutsche Knowledge Services, and Coca-Cola Bottles Business Services exemplifies the strategic alignment, efficiency gains, and competitive advantages derived from outsourcing HR operations in a dynamic business environment. Through strategic partnership and efficient service delivery, Rebook can enhance its HR capabilities, drive organizational performance, and achieve sustainable growth in the athletic apparel industry. And then next one is the company like Washington Mutual, Sallie Mae, and Expedia. As company outsourcing financial function and service providers like AGs, the DSM Manila LLC, and the Dubaladad and Associates exemplifies this strategic alignment, efficiency gain, and competitive advantages derived from outsourcing financial operations. Through strategic partnerships and efficient service delivery, companies it can optimize their financial management dri- and achieve sustainable growth. Then the last one is the strategic decision to outsource the payroll and accounting functions by Del Monte Philippines um, reflect a proactive approach to optimize financial operations, leverage external expertise, and enhance organizational efficiency through collaborative partnership with reputable service providers such as Manulife Financial, the DKS, and also the BPO International Incorporation. Next, we have the IT outsourcing. IT outsourcing is a common practice in today's business landscape. It involves contracting out specific IT functions to external service providers. This allows companies to leverage specialized expertise, reduce costs, and focus on their core competencies. Example of this are the IT technical support, IT application development, IT application management, the data center operations, the software as a service or SaaS, and cloud, the online storage services. So first one, we have the IT technical support, that which means it involves providing assistance to users experiencing technical issues with hardware, software, or network connectivity. Um, the examples of these are help desk support, remote desktop support, and then the hardware repair. Then the next one, we have the IT application development. This entails the design, development, and deployment of a software applications tailored to meet specific business needs. Examples of these are the custom software development, the mobile app development, and then the web application development. The third one is the application management, which means it involves the ongoing maintenance, support, and optimization of existing software application. Example of these are the application monitoring and performance tuning, security patching and updates, and then application lifecycle management. Then we have fourth one, the data center operations. This encompasses the management and maintenance of data centers. Um, Example of these are the server management, the network management, and then the disaster recovery. And then we have the software as service. This refers to a cloud based software delivery model where applications are hosted by a third party provider and can be accessed by user over the internet. The example of these are the CRM software, the email services, and then the accounting software. Then for the last one, we have the cloud. This refers to the use of cloud-based storage services to store and access data remotely over the internet. Example of these services is the file sharing and collaboration. For example, in the Google Drive, we can invite some people to edit um, the file that we're working on. And then we also have the data backup and recovery. Also, the data archiving.
So let's continue. All part-based activities. These are activities that are routine, scheduled with little uncertainty. Automobile assembly, electronics assembly, packaging solutions, handicrafts, or garments for mass production. The automobile assembly is good example of all parts-based activities. The main car company may have their names on the product, but some of the parts are actually done by other manufacturers, especially if the car company doesn't have the capacity to produce certain car parts. Key technologies that support outsourcing. Technology is a very important tool in outsourcing, especially so that in many cases, the client, the service provider, and the consumers are all separated from each other by space and time. These tools empower a workforce that increasingly needs to conduct parts of its business functions virtually. These tools help the organization given that some companies may not be in the same country where the service provider is located. The technologies enable sharing of files, conducting meetings, doing presentations, and many more. Here are some examples. Video conferencing, HP, Halo, Cisco, Telepresence, Sun, MPK20, Project Wonderland. For web-based conferencing and workflow tools, WebEx, MS Windows Meeting Space, MS SharePoint, Google Applications. So now that we have already covered the different types of outsourcing and the functions that are outsourced, let's go to the processes in managing an IT BPM company. There are four major stages in IT BPM business cycle. The first one is business processing engagement. This stage refers to the process of establishing the client and service provider relationship, the formulation of the IT BPM contract, including the contract financials, and complying with the requirements implemented by the regulatory agencies. The second one was managing outsourcing transitions. This is the process of transitioning of tasks from a client to a service provider to achieve a successful business relationship. The third one was BPO operations management. Business process outsourcing or BPO utilizes third-party specialists to carry out some part of business process or operation. BPO can lower a company's costs, increase efficiency, and provide flexibility. At the same time, the BPO industry is rapidly growing, which means that in our increasingly global economy, process outsourcing isn't going anywhere. So the third one is issue management and critical situation control. Issue management is the process of identifying and resolving issues, problems with staff or suppliers, technical failures, material shortage. This might all have a negative impact on your project. If the issue goes unresolved, you risk creating unnecessary conflicts, delays, or even failure to produce your deliverable. That's all. Thank you.
So we have a support function and services. We have cafeterias, copy centers, security, janitorial services, tracking and shipping, and building maintenance. We have routine activities or activities that can be automated at larger centers. Small banks outsourcing check processing to larger banks and riding on ATM based on multi-bank network. When we say of that, small banks are now sending their checks to bigger banks to process them. Using the ATM networks of multiple banks, this helps them save money and use advanced technology by doing this. Smaller banks can improve their processing abilities and grow their business without spending too much money at the beginning. Second is small vendors using Amazon.com as data center, marketing, and payment processing platform. Many banks, especially smaller ones, use common core banking services from big companies. They do this to get advanced technology without spending a lot to create and keep up their own systems. These services from multi-bank core banking provide many advantages like saving money, growing easily, and using the latest features. Third one is the banks using common multi-bank core banking services of large technology providers. The banking sector is currently experiencing a notable change as numerous banks, particularly smaller community institutions, are opting for common core banking solution offers by major technology firms. This change is motivated by the desire for advanced technological solutions without the substantial investment needed for internal development and keep the seasonal requirements. One day, 50 employees needed. Next day, only 10 are needed. Second is Christmas hired to handle additional volume of transaction. Third one is temporary extension of operating hours to accommodate foot traffic. Seasonal requirements. The list highlights the challenges. These are the challenges businesses face in adapting to seasonal fluctuations in demand. They must plan for staffing needs, adjust operating hours, and potentially hire temporary staff to meet these variations.